Welcome to Momentum Mind, the channel where we explore the secrets of action, focus, and personal growth through immersive stories and life-changing ideas. Today, we're diving into the journey of transformation, inspired by the audiobook Just Do It Easy by Oscar Hartmann. Stay with us, because by the end, you'll discover how small, deliberate steps can create unstoppable momentum in your life. Chapter 1: The whispering streets in the heart of a city that never quite slept. With streets that twisted like silver ribbons under neon lights, there lived a young dreamer named Leo. The city hummed with possibility, yet it pressed down on the shoulders of those who dared to imagine something beyond the ordinary. Buildings loomed like silent giants, their windows reflecting the hopes and fears of countless souls. Leo wandered these streets every evening, feeling both trapped and exhilarated by the endless possibilities surrounding him. The air carried whispers of ambition, faint voices that seemed to rise from the cracks in the pavement, urging him to act, to move, to do something daring. Leo felt the pull of these whispers deep in his chest, but a shadow of doubt always lingered, whispering, "Not now, maybe later." He carried a small notebook, edges worn from constant handling, filled with sketches, notes, and ideas that flickered like sparks in the dark. One night, as rain began to drizzle over the cobblestones, Leo spotted a narrow alley bathed in a strange, golden glow. He had never noticed this path before. Something about it called to him, promising answers without speaking a word. He stepped inside, heart pounding, and found himself in a courtyard that shimmered with an almost magical light. There were people there, but they were not like the bustling crowds outside. They moved with calm purpose, their faces serene, their eyes bright with clarity. A woman approached him, her presence radiating warmth and focus. "Welcome, Leo," she said, as if she had been expecting him for years. "You are ready to begin, but you must first understand something essential: action transforms dreams into reality. But not through force or struggle, only through ease." Leo frowned, unsure what she meant. She gestured to a fountain in the center of the courtyard, where water danced upwards in intricate patterns, seemingly defying gravity. "Notice how the water flows. It does not fight against the air, yet it reaches heights beyond imagination. This is how you must approach your dreams." Before he could respond, the woman disappeared into the shadows, leaving behind a small, glowing key. It hovered in the air, spinning slowly, as if inviting him to take it. Leo reached out, and the instant he touched it, the world around him shifted. The courtyard dissolved, replaced by a dimly lit room filled with books, tools, and strange devices. He sensed that each object held a lesson, a clue to the mysteries he yearned to uncover. A note appeared on the table in shimmering ink: "Step into the flow, and you will find what you seek." As Leo looked around, he felt a mix of fear and exhilaration. The whispers of the city outside were gone, replaced by a profound silence, as if the universe itself was holding its breath, waiting for him to take the first step. He realized that the path ahead would not be obvious or easy, but it promised adventure, growth, and discovery. A door at the far end of the room creaked open, revealing a spiral staircase that seemed to stretch into the clouds. Leo's hand trembled as he reached for the railing. With a deep breath, he began to climb, unaware of what awaited him at the top, but certain that his life was about to change forever. Chapter 2: The Mirror of Intention. The staircase spiraled endlessly upward, each step echoing like a heartbeat in the quiet. Leo's palms were sweaty, his mind buzzing with anticipation and doubt. As he climbed, the walls around him began to shift, forming mirrors that reflected not just his image, but his thoughts, fears, and desires. He stopped before one particularly clear mirror, peering into his own eyes as if searching for answers. In the reflection, he saw himself attempting countless tasks, each unfinished, each abandoned. He saw the weight of hesitation, the shadows of procrastination that had clung to him for years. And then, faintly at first, a glimmer of determination appeared, like a flicker of sunlight breaking through storm clouds. He realized that the mirror did not lie, it revealed the truth of his mind and heart. Suddenly, a voice echoed from the mirror, calm and unwavering. "Your intentions are the compass that guides your actions. Clarify them, and the path will unfold with ease. But beware, without focus, energy dissipates like smoke." Leo closed his eyes and tried to center himself. He pictured the life he wanted, not just the goals, but the feeling of fulfillment, the joy of creation, the thrill of movement without struggle. When he opened his eyes again, the mirror shimmered, transforming into a doorway of light. He stepped through, feeling a gentle pull, as if the world itself was helping him move forward rather than resisting. He emerged in a vast garden suspended above the clouds, where every flower seemed to hum with possibility and every tree swayed in harmony with the wind. A small group of figures awaited him, each radiating a calm confidence. They greeted him without words, inviting him to explore the garden and discover the tools hidden within it. Leo wandered among glowing pathways, noticing that each plant, each stone, each glimmering pool reflected a principle he had only vaguely understood before: simplicity, focus, joy in action, and trust in the process. In the center of the garden, a fountain unlike any he had seen before bubbled with liquid light. As he approached, it whispered secrets of effortless progress, revealing that taking action could be as natural as breathing if he aligned his mind, body, and intention. Leo felt a surge of clarity and courage, but just as he reached to touch the luminous water, the ground beneath him trembled. Clouds swirled, and shadows stretched across the garden, hinting at a challenge he had yet to face. He realized that understanding was only the beginning, and the real test of his newfound clarity was still ahead. Chapter 3: The Labyrinth of Excuses. The garden twisted and rippled around Leo, morphing into a dense labyrinth of hedges taller than houses, each leaf shimmering with an ethereal glow. Whispers swirled through the air, but now they carried the weight of doubt, teasing him with excuses he had whispered to himself for years. The path ahead was not straight, every turn seemed to reveal another reason to pause, another shadow of hesitation. Leo felt the familiar pang of fear gnawing at his confidence, but he clenched the glowing key in his hand, grounding himself. As he walked, he met creatures that embodied the excuses he had known: a sloth that moved with deliberate delay, muttering, "Not now," a chameleon that blended into the background, muttering, "Wait for the perfect moment," and a heavy tortoise trudging along, sighing, "You're not ready yet." Each encounter felt personal, as if the labyrinth itself tested his resolve. Yet, with every step, he remembered the fountain and the garden's gentle wisdom. Movement did not need to be forced. Suddenly, the key began to pulse in his hand, casting light along hidden corridors of the labyrinth. A soft melody drifted through the leaves, urging him to take the first step without overthinking, to trust in the rhythm of action rather than the weight of perfection. Leo followed the light, moving with a new kind of ease, noticing how the shadows of doubt grew smaller the further he went. At the heart of the labyrinth, a massive gate loomed, covered in inscriptions of past failures and half-finished dreams. Leo felt a surge of panic. How could he push it open when so many weights of doubt pressed against him? But the key responded to his breath and heartbeat, glowing brighter with each step of courage. With a deep inhale, Leo turned the key in the lock, and the gate opened, revealing a path lined with golden lanterns, each flickering with the promise of actions taken and dreams pursued. As he stepped through, he felt the labyrinth whisper one last warning: the world would always tempt him back into inaction, and the real mastery of ease was only beginning. Chapter 4: The River of Momentum. Beyond the gate, Leo found himself at the edge of a river that shimmered with liquid silver, flowing fast and yet effortlessly calm. Small boats drifted alongside, powered not by oars, but by the willingness to move forward. The river seemed to whisper, action creates momentum, and momentum carries you farther than intention alone. Leo noticed others already sailing, faces serene, laughter in their voices as they moved without struggle. A gentle wind urged him forward, and though fear still lingered, Leo stepped into a small boat. It responded instantly to his touch, gliding forward as if recognizing his desire to move. The river carried him past towering cliffs that rose like titans, waterfalls that sang songs of past perseverance, and islands filled with fruits that shimmered with insight. Each landmark was a lesson: small, consistent actions built currents. Fear slowed but did not stop. The moment of starting was always the hardest, but once begun, life itself assisted. Suddenly, dark clouds appeared upstream, swirling with the shadows of past failures, threatening to capsize his fragile boat. Leo realized that momentum alone would not protect him. He had to navigate with intention, steering with clarity and ease. He gripped the sides, closed his eyes, and let the lessons of the garden, the labyrinth, and the mirror guide him. When he opened them, the dark clouds had parted just enough to reveal a bridge of light, stretching across the river, inviting him onward. Yet, just as he approached the bridge, he felt the boat shiver violently, and a whispering voice questioned, "Do you truly believe you can continue without faltering?" Leo's heart raced, knowing the river of momentum could carry him far, but the currents of doubt were relentless. He gritted his teeth and prepared to face whatever the river threw at him next. Chapter 5: The City of Mirrors. The bridge led Leo into a city unlike any he had known, where every building was made of reflective glass, capturing not only light but intention. The streets curved and bent, echoing with his footsteps and thoughts. The inhabitants moved like fluid, seemingly aware of his presence, and yet distant, each carrying the essence of dreams realized or abandoned. He sensed that the city itself was alive, responding to the energy of action and hesitation in equal measure. A figure cloaked in flowing silver robes approached him. "Welcome to the City of Mirrors," the figure said. "Here, your actions are reflected infinitely. Each choice you make sends ripples through reality, creating echoes of success or regret. You will see what becomes of hesitation and what blossoms from decisive movement." Leo walked carefully, observing how the city mirrored not only his movements but his intentions. A fountain in the central plaza shimmered with images of possible futures, each more vivid than the last. He saw paths he could take, some lined with light and ease, others shadowed by doubt and inaction. The images shifted as he watched, responding to the energy in his chest, the pulse of courage, the flicker of fear, the spark of hope. The silver-robed figure guided him to a tower at the center of the city. "Climb to the top," the figure whispered. "You will see the full reflection of your potential. But beware, Leo, for not all reflections are friendly. Some show the shadows of your hesitations and the echoes of abandoned dreams. Only those who act with clarity and purpose can pass through unscathed." Leo began the ascent, each step a careful negotiation with his own inner doubts. Mirrors lined the staircase, multiplying his image until he could scarcely tell which reflection was real. Some mirrors showed him frozen, paralyzed by fear. Others revealed a version of him soaring, creating, and acting with ease. The contrast was dizzying, yet the pulse of the glowing key in his pocket anchored him. At the top of the tower, a vast room opened, with walls of crystal that refracted light into 1,000 paths. In the center floated a sphere of pure energy, vibrating with possibility. As Leo approached, it pulsed in rhythm with his heartbeat, responding to the intentions he had set in the garden and the lessons he had learned in the labyrinth and on the river. Suddenly, the reflection shifted violently. Shadows of doubt surged from every mirror, attempting to envelop him in the fear of failure. Leo felt the familiar twinge of hesitation, the temptation to stop, to retreat. But he remembered the river's lesson: momentum carried him, and action was the only path forward. Clutching the key, he stepped into the sphere, allowing its light to merge with his own. That instant, the city trembled. The mirrors pulsed, showing both the potential of action and the consequences of inaction in stark relief. Leo felt a surge of power and clarity, but at the edge of his vision, a dark form watched silently from the shadows, a presence that seemed to wait, patient and knowing, ready to test whether his newfound understanding would survive the trials ahead. The figure did not move, yet its intent was palpable, sending a chill down his spine. Leo realized that the City of Mirrors had revealed the power of action, but the true test of his courage and ease was only beginning. Chapter 6, The Mountain of Commitment. Beyond the City of Mirrors, the path rose sharply into a jagged mountain that pierced the clouds. Its slopes were steep and winds howled like unseen spirits, tugging at every step with relentless force. Leo stood at the base, looking up, feeling a mixture of awe and fear. The mountain shimmered with a strange, luminous aura, as if each rock carried the weight of every commitment ever made, every promise kept or broken. A figure appeared, draped in a cloak of twilight, eyes glowing with an inner fire. "This is the mountain of commitment," the figure said. "Every step you take here will test your resolve. Half-hearted intentions will crumble beneath your feet. Only true commitment allows you to ascend." Leo nodded, feeling the gravity of the task. He knew this was not just about effort, it was about aligning every fiber of his being with the path ahead. The climb began, each step demanding more focus and courage than the last. Stones shifted underfoot, clouds obscured the path, and the wind threatened to push him back. At times, he wanted to stop, to rest in the fleeting comfort of hesitation. But the lessons of the river, the labyrinth, and the City of Mirrors pulsed through him. He recalled the ease of action, the clarity of intention, and the pulse of momentum that had carried him this far. As he ascended, he encountered other travelers clinging desperately to the rocks, some falling back into the abyss of indecision, others rising with renewed purpose. Leo noticed that the mountain responded to each climber differently, reflecting their level of commitment. It was alive, sensing fear and resolve alike. The glowing key in his hand vibrated, harmonizing with his heartbeat and guiding him along hidden footholds. Halfway up, a cavern opened into the side of the mountain. Within, stalactites dripped with liquid light, forming pools that revealed visions of commitments past. Leo saw promises he had made to himself, small and large, some kept, some abandoned. The weight of broken commitments pressed on him, threatening to sap his energy. But he realized that acknowledgement was not surrender, it was a chance to realign. He touched the pools, feeling the energy of previous dedication merge with his own resolve. Emerging from the cavern, the wind intensified, a swirling vortex at the peak. The final stretch was vertical, jagged, and exposed. Leo gritted his teeth and moved with deliberate ease, each motion purposeful, each step a testament to his newfound alignment. When he finally reached the summit, he was met with a breathtaking panorama: valleys of potential stretched below, rivers of action snaking through the landscape, and beyond the horizon, a golden light beckoned. But at the peak, a shadow loomed, taller and darker than anything Leo had faced. It seemed to pulse with every doubt he had ever felt, waiting to see if his commitment was true or fleeting. The wind carried its whispers, sharp and piercing. "Will you falter now, after all you have learned?" Leo's heart raced, knowing that the mountain had tested his resolve, but the shadow above hinted at trials even greater, and the path forward shimmered with both promise and peril. Chapter 7, The Forest of Focus. From the peak of the Mountain of Commitment, a path twisted downward into a forest that seemed alive with whispering leaves and flickering lights. The trees towered high, their branches interwoven, forming a canopy that filtered the sunlight into golden patterns on the forest floor. Each step Leo took felt guided by a hidden rhythm, yet the air was thick with distraction. Shadows danced between the trunks, tempting him to wander off the path, to lose himself in trivial pursuits and endless what-ifs. A gentle voice, like wind through the leaves, spoke, "Focus is the bridge between intention and action. Lose it, and the path becomes endless. Hold it, and the world bends to your clarity." Leo nodded, feeling the weight of his task. He realized that the forest was a living test of concentration. Every sound, shimmer, and scent challenged his attention, threatening to scatter his thoughts like leaves in the wind. As he moved deeper, he encountered streams that flowed backward, vines that tried to ensnare his feet, and illusions of past distractions, faces of friends, messages from the city, whispers of old habits, each calling him away from the path. Leo paused, closing his eyes, centering himself on the rhythm of his heartbeat and the glow of the key in his hand. He began to move with a gentle determination, letting each step flow naturally from his focus rather than force. The deeper he went, the brighter the forest became, as if the light of clarity followed only those willing to commit their mind fully. He met creatures here as well, a fox that darted and disappeared, symbolizing fleeting ideas, and an owl that watched silently, embodying calm observation. Leo learned to notice without attachment, to move forward without distraction, letting focus guide his motion. At the heart of the forest, a clearing opened, illuminated by a single beam of golden light. In the center was a stone pedestal holding a glowing crystal, pulsating with soft energy. As Leo approached, he felt the pull of countless tasks, desires, and fears urging him to stop, to hesitate. But the crystal seemed to whisper, "True action is born from focus. The mind clear, the heart calm, the body aligned. Only then can you harness your full potential." Leo reached out and touched the crystal. Waves of energy coursed through him, showing him paths of focused action he had never noticed before, each one flowing effortlessly toward its goal. But as the energy settled, a rustling arose from the shadows at the edge of the clearing. Dark shapes shifted in the periphery, and a voice echoed through the trees, "Focus alone will not shield you. Temptations and doubts linger, waiting to strike when your attention falters." Leo's pulse quickened. The forest had revealed the power of concentrated action, but the unseen threat hinted that the next challenge would test his focus in ways he could not yet imagine. Chapter 8, The Desert of Discipline. Beyond the forest, the path opened into a vast desert, stretching endlessly under a sun that burned like molten gold. The sand shimmered with a strange energy, shifting constantly as if alive, reshaping the dunes with each gust of wind. Leo paused at the edge, feeling the weight of exhaustion and temptation pressing down. The desert demanded more than courage, it demanded unwavering discipline. A figure appeared in the heat waves, wearing robes of flowing orange and red, their face hidden beneath a hood. "This is the desert of discipline," the figure said, voice strong and unwavering. "Here, comfort is scarce, and effort is relentless. Only those who move with intention, every step deliberate, can traverse its expanse." Leo began walking, each foot sinking into the sand, making every step a small battle. The wind clawed at his face, the sun blazed, and mirages flickered on the horizon, tempting him with visions of rest, ease, and shortcuts. He felt his resolve faltering, the familiar whispers of procrastination tugging at him, "Stop now, take a break, wait for cooler times." But he remembered the lessons from the river, the labyrinth, the mountain, and the forest: momentum, commitment, focus. Each step forward reinforced the rhythm of action. As he advanced, he noticed that the desert tested not just his body, but his mind. Thoughts of doubt and fear became tangible, rising like sandstorms around him. But the key in his hand pulsed, casting light that cut through the haze, showing him the path forward. Leo learned to breathe with the desert, moving in harmony with its rhythms rather than struggling against it. He discovered that discipline was not a harsh burden, but a gentle, persistent guiding force. Halfway across, he came upon an oasis, shimmering with the promise of relief. Water sparkled invitingly, and shade offered rest. The whispers grew louder, "Give in, you've done enough, enjoy a moment of ease." Leo hesitated, feeling the allure of comfort. But he recalled the pulse of the crystal from the forest of focus and the shadow waiting on the mountain of commitment. He realized that discipline was not denial, but alignment with the path, and he stepped past the oasis, letting its beauty fuel his determination rather than derail it. As night fell, the desert's temperatures dropped sharply, and shadows stretched across the dunes, forming shapes that mimicked his deepest fears. Leo pressed onward, guided by the glowing key and the steady beat of his own heart. Just as he reached the far edge of the desert, the sand shifted beneath him, revealing a hidden chasm yawning wide and deep. From its depths, a whisper rose, carrying a question he could not ignore: will you leap, trusting discipline and momentum, or falter here and fall into the void? Leo's heart raced, knowing that the leap would define whether his journey of action and ease would continue or end in hesitation. Chapter 9, The Bridge of Courage. Beyond the chasm revealed in the desert, a narrow bridge stretched into the void, composed of light and energy rather than stone. It shimmered under a star-speckled sky, delicate yet solid, its edges vibrating with an unseen power. Leo stepped onto it, feeling the weight of uncertainty with every stride. The bridge seemed alive, responding to his confidence and fear alike, swaying slightly with the rhythm of his heartbeat. A voice whispered from the void below, only those who embrace courage without hesitation may cross. Doubt will crumble the bridge beneath you. Leo's pulse quickened. He looked down, and the depth seemed endless, filled with shadows of past failures, abandoned dreams, and lost opportunities. Every step forward required not only focus and discipline but the raw courage to move despite the fear gnawing at him. The wind whipped across the bridge, carrying voices of those who had turned back, the regrets of inaction echoing in the vast emptiness. Leo clenched the glowing key, feeling its warmth and rhythm aligning with his own. Each step became a meditation, a balance of breath, thought, and motion, where hesitation threatened to pull him into the void but determination propelled him forward. Halfway across, the bridge seemed to vanish beneath his feet, leaving only a sliver of light to guide him. Panic surged, yet a memory of the river of momentum, the mountain of commitment, and the desert of discipline steadied him. He realized courage was not the absence of fear but the decision to act in its presence. Leo inhaled deeply, visualizing the path ahead, and placed each foot with deliberate intention. Figures emerged along the bridge, shadows of his own doubts given form, taunting him with fears of inadequacy and failure. Their whispers grew louder, trying to lure him back. But Leo let the rhythm of his breath, the pulse of the key, and the flow of action merge, forming a protective rhythm that carried him forward. Step by step, the bridge lengthened beneath him, glowing more solidly with each act of courage. As he neared the other side, a dark vortex swirled above, the culmination of every fear he had faced on this journey. It threatened to engulf him at the very moment he would reach safety. Leo's heart thundered, and the wind carried a final, haunting whisper: will you falter now, at the threshold of triumph? He forced a step forward, feeling the energy of every lesson, every action, every moment of focus and discipline converge within him. The bridge of light shone brighter, yet the vortex above loomed larger, ready to challenge whether his courage would be enough to pass. Chapter 10, The Chamber of Clarity. Beyond the bridge, Leo found himself at the entrance of a vast chamber, its walls carved from crystal-clear stone that shimmered with a subtle inner light. The air was thick with the scent of calm and focus, and every step echoed softly, as if the chamber itself listened. At the center floated a radiant orb, pulsing with a gentle, hypnotic rhythm that seemed to resonate with his heartbeat. A figure appeared, luminous and serene, their presence radiating an unmistakable authority. Welcome to the Chamber of Clarity, the figure said. Here, distractions dissolve, and only your true intentions remain. Every thought, every desire, every hesitation will be revealed. Only by embracing clarity can you act with effortless ease. Leo nodded, feeling the weight of the journey behind him and the anticipation of the moment ahead. As he stepped closer to the orb, visions unfolded around him. He saw every choice he had made, every action taken and not taken, reflected in the crystal walls. The clarity was intoxicating yet humbling, showing how intertwined his intentions and actions were. Leo understood that clarity did not demand perfection, but alignment and awareness of purpose in every step. A voice resonated from the orb: to proceed, you must release what no longer serves you. Doubt, fear, and hesitation must be acknowledged, understood, and set aside. Only then can you act with true ease. Leo closed his eyes, allowing himself to confront the lingering shadows within. Images of missed opportunities, half-finished endeavors, and moments of inaction surfaced. His chest tightened, but he let each one pass through him, like a wind sweeping through the chamber, leaving him lighter, more centered. When he opened his eyes, the orb expanded, casting a warm, radiant light across the chamber. Leo felt a newfound sense of power and serenity, his intentions sharpened, his actions primed with ease. The chamber whispered a final challenge: the clarity you hold is strong, but it must now be tested in the world beyond. Will you carry this understanding into action, or will it remain a fleeting vision within these walls? Leo felt the pulse of the glowing key in his hand, the lessons of the garden, labyrinth, river, mountain, forest, desert, and bridge merging into a single stream of knowledge. He took a deep breath, aware that the next step would demand all he had learned, and that the true adventure, acting in the world with ease and purpose, was about to begin. Yet, at the edge of his vision, the chamber seemed to ripple, revealing a figure lurking in the shadows, observing, waiting, and testing the resolve he had just achieved. Chapter 11, The Arena of Action. Leaving the Chamber of Clarity, Leo entered a vast arena that stretched as far as the eye could see, its floor glowing faintly with the energy of past and present actions. The air buzzed with anticipation, each particle charged with possibility. Around the perimeter, shadowy figures lurked, representing every hesitation, doubt, and fear he had ever faced. Their eyes glimmered, waiting for him to falter. In the center of the arena, a platform rose, pulsing with energy in rhythm with his heartbeat. The glowing key in Leo's hand reacted, vibrating with excitement, guiding him forward. A deep voice echoed, "This is the arena of action. Here, intention meets execution. Thought alone is not enough. You must act decisively and with ease, or be swept away by the echoes of inaction." Leo stepped onto the platform. The arena responded instantly, shifting and changing with each movement. Invisible currents pulled him in different directions, tempting him to stop, hesitate, or overthink. But he remembered the river's momentum, the mountain's commitment, the forest's focus, and the desert's discipline. With each breath, he aligned his body, mind, and intention, moving with fluid precision. The shadows advanced, representing every excuse and fear he had carried through his journey. They lunged and swirled, but Leo moved calmly, each action deliberate, each choice a statement of clarity. The key glowed brighter, radiating energy that dissolved the shadows upon contact. He felt the exhilaration of motion, the effortless flow of action guided by intention, the power of focus, and the rhythm of discipline. As he mastered the arena, the shadows intensified, merging into a single, towering figure. It embodied the sum of all hesitation and doubt he had ever felt. Leo's pulse raced, and for a moment, fear gripped him. But the lessons of every step of his journey surged through him, reminding him that action was the bridge between intention and reality. With a steady breath, he advanced, striking with clarity, moving with ease, letting momentum carry him forward. The towering shadow wavered, and for the first time, Leo saw it tremble. Yet, as it began to dissipate, the platform shifted beneath him, revealing a portal of radiant light hovering at the edge of the arena. Beyond it, a landscape of infinite possibility stretched outward, glowing with the potential of every action he might take. A whisper echoed from the light, "The final step awaits. Will you cross, fully embracing the power of action, or remain trapped in the safety of contemplation?" Leo's heart pounded, knowing that crossing the portal would change everything, and that the ultimate test of his journey was about to begin. Chapter 12, The Realm of Infinite Possibility. Stepping through the radiant portal, Leo entered a realm unlike anything he had seen. The sky shimmered with shifting colors, landscapes bent and flowed like living paintings, and every element seemed alive with potential. Mountains rose and fell in moments, rivers carved new paths as he watched, and islands floated in the air, each pulsing with energy. This was the realm of infinite possibility, where every action created reality and every intention shaped the world. The air vibrated with a gentle hum, resonating with the glowing key in Leo's hand. He realized that every lesson, every challenge, and every step of his journey had led him here. The garden had taught him ease, the labyrinth persistence, the river momentum, the mountain commitment, the forest focus, the desert discipline, the bridge courage, the chamber clarity, and the arena decisive action. Now, all of these forces merged, radiating through him, empowering him to shape this limitless space. Figures began to emerge from the colors and light, creatures of pure possibility, shimmering with forms that defied imagination. Some reflected opportunities he had yet to seize, others embodied potential fears and distractions, and all awaited his movement. Leo understood that he could no longer wait, hesitate, or overthink. Every choice here, no matter how small, would ripple infinitely, shaping worlds in ways he could not fully predict. A soft voice, neither male nor female, echoed through the realm. "This is where action becomes creation, intention becomes reality. What you do now defines the path of your life, the worlds you touch, and the impact you leave." Leo felt the weight of infinite potential, exhilarating yet daunting. Yet the pulse of the key, the rhythm of his breath, and the flow of his accumulated lessons guided him. He took a step forward, and the ground beneath him glowed brighter, ripples of energy flowing outward like waves in a pond. Every movement created new shapes and possibilities, bending the landscape to his will without effort. Shadows of doubt appeared at the edges, attempting to temper his confidence, but Leo moved with calm certainty, knowing that hesitation had no power here when action flowed naturally. As he continued to explore and act, the realm itself seemed to respond to his alignment, harmonizing with his focus, discipline, courage, and clarity. A vast horizon unfolded before him, filled with paths he could choose to take, each promising adventure, creation, and growth. Yet at the very edge of his vision, a faint shimmer of uncertainty flickered, a reminder that even in a realm of infinite possibility, the journey of action required continuous courage and alignment. Leo paused, breathing in the boundless energy around him. The key in his hand pulsed once more, warm and steady, a reminder that ease, focus, and action were not destinations but companions in every step. He took another step forward into the endless horizon, ready to shape, explore, and act, knowing that the lessons of the journey were now fully his to carry into every possibility the future could offer. And as the color swirled and the landscapes shifted, the faint shimmer of uncertainty watched silently, waiting for the next moment that would test the strength of his chosen path. If you enjoyed this journey through Just Do It Easy, tell us in the comments which other audiobook you want us to explore next. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Momentum Mind, and hit the bell so you never miss a step toward building unstoppable momentum.